Dear friends, Pinutni, good evening. You are now joining our online broadcast of our evening Buddha Puja at the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. Especially during this lockdown time, we have arranged this online broadcast daily until our Kathina robe offering ceremony, which is on the 24th of October. So every day we hold this Buddha Puja and we chant a chosen Sutta. And during this first retreat or rains retreat, we also reflect on the Dhamma. And we have been reflecting from gathas from the Dhammapada and finish off the evening religious observance with Metta Bhavana or meditation on loving kindness. So today the sponsors Mr. Atula Pera and Mrs. Rashmi Adhikari, along with their children Ayumi and Manuka, would like to dedicate this evening sponsorship, attending this puja. So they came to the temple and made offerings earlier this morning, and would like to dedicate to their departed fathers, Mr. Atukoralage, Rashmi's father, and K.U. Marthelis, Atulapera's father. So both fathers are remembered. So we dedicate this and wish them happiness wherever they are. May they rejoice in our pinkama, our punya karma, and make their lives happy wherever they are. They'd also like to bless their living mothers with good health, happiness, and long life. So may they also rejoice in this pinkama and be happy. So we will begin this puja soon. If your friends have not got Facebook, you can direct them to our YouTube channel, lmmc.online, and you can participate every day during this lockdown time. Where the worship begins at 6:30. Okay, so to commence with the program, say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times to observe 5 precepts. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, Adinādāna Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, Kāmi සුමිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි. මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි. සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි. තිසරණේන සද්ධෙන් පංචශීලං ධම්මං අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. ඉතිපිසෝ භගවා අරහං සම්මා සම්බුද්ධෝ විජ්ජාචරණ සම්පන්නෝ සුගතෝ ලෝකවිදු අනුත්තරෝ පුරිස ධම්මසාරති සත්තා දේව මනුස්සානං බුද්ධෝ භගවාති. බුද්ධං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. යේච බුද්ධා අතීතාච යේච බුද්ධා අනාගතා පච්චුප්පන්නාච යේ බුද්ධා අහං වන්දාමි සබ්බදා. නත්ථි මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤං බුද්ධෝ මේ සරණං වරං. ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු මේ ජය මංගලං. උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං පාදපංස වරත්තමං. බුද්ධේයෝ කාලිතෝ දෝසෝ බුද්ධෝ කමතු තං මමං. ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සන්දිට්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහි පස්සිකෝ ඕපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතබ්බෝ විඤ්ඤෝහිති. ධම්මං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. යේච ධම්මා අතීතාච යේච ධම්මා අනාගතා පච්චුප්පන්නාච යේ ධම්මා අහං වන්දාමි සබ්බදා. නත්ථි මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤං ධම්මෝ මේ සරණං වරං. ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු මේ ජය මංගලං. උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං ධම්මං ච ත්‍රිවිධං වරං. ධම්මේයෝ කාලිතෝ දෝසෝ ධම්මෝ කමතු තං මමං. සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ උජ්ජපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ Yadidang cattari purisa yugani attha purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo Anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyakhetang lokasati Sanghang jivitang yava nibbānang saranang gacchāmi Ye ca sangha atita ca ye ca sangha anagata Paccapanna cayi sangha ahang vandami sabbada Nati me saranang anyang sangho me saranang varang Etina sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang Uttamangena vandehang Sanghang cati vidhottamang Sangheyo khalito dosa Sangho khamatu tang mamang Ghana sarapadittena dīpena tamadhangsina Tiloka dīpang sambuddhang Pujayami tamonudang Gandha sambhara yuttena dhupenahang Sugandhina Pujayi pujaniyantang Puja bhajana muttamang Vanna gandha gunopetang Etang kusuma santating Pujayami munindassa Siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumina nena Punyena metena ca hotu mokkhaṃ Pupphaṃ milayati yatha idammi Kāyo tathāyati vināsa bhāvaṃ Adhivāsetu no bhante pāniyaṃ Parikappitaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Adhivāsetu no bhante gilāna paccayaṃ imaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Adhivāsetu no bhante sabbaṃ saddhāya pūjitaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Vandāmi cetiyaṃ sabbaṃ sabbathāni supatitthitaṃ Sāririka dhātu mahābodhiṃ Buddha rūpaṃ sakalaṃ sadā Yassa mule nisinno ve Sambhāri vijayaṃ akā Patta sabbaññutaṃ sattā Vande taṃ bodhipādapaṃ Ime ete mahabodhi lokanātena pujitā Ahampite namassāmi bodhirāja namatute Kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ Accayaṃ khamami bhante bhuri pañña tathāgata Kāyena vācā cittena pamadena maya katang accayan khamami sangha supatipanna anuttara ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo imina punya kammene mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbāna pattiya idam me punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu samba dukkha pamuncatu. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so that is the end of the Buddha Puja. So now we are going to chant Ratana Sutta, especially to bless the mothers of today's sponsors, Mr. Atul Pera and Rashmi Adhikari. May they enjoy good health, happiness, success and prosperity. Furthermore, as an online community, those who are joining now, may you all be well, happy and peaceful. So the sponsors would also like to bless their children, Ayumi and Manuka, and may their education be successful, may they have a bright future, may all their righteous aspirations be fulfilled. So we also remember if any persons are ill, may you be well, happy and peaceful, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic times. If you have any friends or you know someone, bear them in your thoughts while listening to the chanting, and may the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha be upon their recovery, so may they receive quick recovery and enjoy good health. We also would like to dedicate this chanting to all key workers, including NHS staff, doctors and nurses working tirelessly at the forefront to look after their patients and their families. May they also enjoy good health, and may they have determination and courage to continue their valuable services. So with those kind intention and compassionate intention, let us join together in this chanting and bless everyone, including yourself and your family members. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gacchantu devata saddhammang munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkhadan parittassavana kālo ayang bhadanta parittassavana kālo ayang bhadanta paritta dhammassavana kālo ayang bhadanta namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Yāni bhūtāni samāgatāni bhummāni vāyāni veyantalikhe sabeva bhūtā sumana bhavantu athopi sakkacca sunantu bhāsitam tasmāhi bhūtāni sāmita sabbe mittam karothe manusiyā pajāye Divācaratto ca haranti e baling tasmahi nirakkata appamatta Yankinci vittang idhavahurang vasagge suvayang ratanang panitang Nano samang athi tathāgatena idampi buddhe ratanang panitang Etena saccena suvatti hotu khayang viragang amatang panitang yadajjaga sakya muni samahito natena dhammena samatti kinci idampi dhamme ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Yang buddha settha parivannai sucing samadhimanantarikanyamahu samadhina tena samona vijjati idampi dhamme ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu ye puggala attha satang pasattha cattari etani yugani honti Te dakhineya sugatassa savakaye te sudinnani mahapphalani idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu ye suppayutta manasa dalhena nikkamino gotama sasanam hi Te pattipatta amatang vigaihe laddha mudha nibbuting bhunjamana idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu yatinda kilo pathaving sitosiya catubbhivate bhiya sampakampiyo Tathupamang sappurisang vadami yo ariya saccani avecca passati idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu ye ariya saccani vibhavayanti gambhira panyena sudesitani Kincapi te honti busappamatta nate bhavang attamang adiyanti idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu sahavassa dassana sampadaya tayassu dhamma jahita bhavanti Sakkaya ditthi vicikiccitanca silabbetang vapi yadatti kinci Catuha payehi ca vippamutto cacabithanani abhabbo katung idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Kincapi sokammang karoti papakang kayena vaca udcetasava abhabbo sotassa paticcahadaya abhabbata dittha padassa vutta idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Vanappa gumbe yatha pussitagge gimhana mase pathamasmin gimhe tathupamang dhamma varang adesai nibbāna gāmiṃ paramang hitāya Idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu. Varo varanyo varado varaharo anuttaro dhamma varang adesai. Idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu. Kīnang purānang navang natti sambhavang viratta citta āyatike bhavasmiṃ te kīna bīja avirulhicchandā nibbanti dhīrā yathāyaṃ padīpo idampi sanghe ratanang panītaṃ etena saccena suvatti hotu. Yānīda bhūtāni samāgatāni bhummāni vāyāni vayantalikhe tathāgataṃ deva manussa pūjitaṃ buddhaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu. Yānīda bhūtāni samāgatāni bhummāni vāyāni vayantalikhe tathāgataṃ deva manussa pūjitaṃ Dhammaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu. Yānīda bhūtāni samāgatāni bhummāni vāyāni vayantalikhe tathāgataṃ deva manussa pūjitaṃ Saṅghaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu. Etena sacca vajjena dukkha upasamintu te etena sacca vajjena bhaya upasamintu te etena sacca vajjena roga upasamintu te sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabba rogo vinassatu māte bhavatvantarāyo sukhi dīghāyuko bhave bhavatu sabba mangalaṃ rakkhantu sabba devata sabba buddhānubhāvena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalaṃ rakkhantu sabba devata sabba dhammānubhāvena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalaṃ rakkhantu sabba devata sabba saṅghānubhāvena sada sotti bhavantu te devo vassatu kālena sassa sampatti hetu ca pīto bhavatu loko ca rāja bhavatu dhammiko ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu loka sāsanaṃ ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu dhamma desanaṃ ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu maṃ paranti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so if you have just joined us, you are attending to our online broadcast of our daily Buddha Puja, chanting, Dhamma sermon and meditation at the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. So we have just finished our chanting. So we are continuing this until October 24th, when we finish our Vas retreat and have our robe offering ceremony, Kathina ceremony. So we are broadcasting some religious observances for you to practice at home during lockdown times, and especially for your well-being, for your peace of mind, and also the opportunity to engage with the Dhamma, listen to the Dhamma, refresh your knowledge, and also perhaps practice the Dhamma whenever possible. And when you continuously listen to the Dhamma, you will have a different transformation of your mind. So therefore we decided to do this daily, and if you are free, always do join us at 6:30 either on Facebook Live or YouTube channel lmmc.online. Okay, so today the sponsorship was made by Mr. Tulipero and Mrs. Rashmi Adhikari along with their children Ayumi and Manuka. So to bless everyone participating as a community, online community here today, and also tuning to this during this Vasa retreat, and dedicating the evening hours to religious practices. So they would like to share merit with the departed fathers, so Mr. Atuko Ralalage and Mr. K.U. Martelli. So may both fathers of the sponsors, may they rejoice in our pinkama, and may they be happy and peaceful wherever they are. If they are in an unfortunate condition, may they recover from that, and may they be prosperous and happy. If they are in a good condition, may they continue to enjoy their life and eventually attain the blissful state of Nibbāna. So we will say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. They'd also like to bless their children for their good education, good health and happiness throughout, and good future. Furthermore, to their mothers, may they enjoy good health, and may they be blessed by the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and may they rejoice in the pinkama and be happy throughout, and continue to enjoy good health, especially during this lockdown time. And also they would bless everyone, you as an online community, for your well-being and happiness. So if you'd like to sponsor, please do contact us and dedicate your ceremony for for your own personal dedication. Make this opportunity. So please do contact us, and then we will direct you to the relevant people who can help you organize this. Okay, so to our Dhamma reflection, we are going to, for those who are participating, just like to give you a brief introduction. We have been reflecting on the gathas, or the verses in a book called Dhammapada, which most of you, if you are Buddhist, would know. And in that book we have advices given to people or monks by the Buddha, given the scenario or situation. So there are 423 verses, 26 verses, that not necessarily they were uttered by the Buddha in the sequence as it is in the book. So however, these verses, some of them are in a duet format, or some of them have 3 or 4 verses together. So it is a good collection of advices of the Buddha, and we have been looking into the first chapter, and we almost come to a close. I believe we'll finish this in 2 more sessions, the first chapter, and we'll move on to the next chapter. So these 423 verses, that are there in this book, 420 verses are not necessarily always about this. It is also about beyond, and about enlightenment, and sometimes they are just simple advices for your living in a day-to-day happy life. Okay, so last few days we are talking about how if you want, you can catch up from our records that's already on Facebook and YouTube. We're discussing about how our habitual tendencies and habits, tend to be, something that might, what we would say, become your tendencies, karma, and then result in your personal, condition or present moment. Now, whatever you did in the past accumulates to your present moment, and whatever you do now and the ones in the past will be the cause for the future moment. And therefore, the more you actually transform your way of thinking, the more you actually think righteously and properly, perhaps what you think now will be conducive to your future events or future life in a different way. So we looked at a story how Devadatta suffered throughout, not being able to transform or let go his vicious thoughts against the Bodhisattva, and eventually even wanting to kill the Buddha. So therefore he went into what we call, or he in a woeful state, or apaya. So because this state of mind is what it makes karma. So karma is quite different from other religions in Buddhism. Yes, the word is being used by the Buddha because during the time of his during his birth, the Buddha was born in an environment where lots of religious beliefs existed. We call Jambudipa, and all of these people had various types of views, but the Buddha did not resort karma, which literally means action, into your physical action or your physical words or verbal words. So he said that intention is karma, so which means if your mindset is not right, you could be accumulating lots of karma. If it is good, it is good karma. If it is negative, it is negative karma. So we got to be very sort of mindful the way we function ourselves, and if this mind is not dealt with and supported with good practices, there is a tendency that we always incline to negative thinking or negative way of looking at things, and therefore the listening to the Dhamma is quite something that supports your good karma, because it will change your way of looking into things. So when we are talking about this results that people face, whether good or bad, we did refer to afterlives, and we do know that this possibility is called rebirth in Buddhism. So we believe, the Buddhism teaches that you are going to be born again and again and again, quite continuously or infinitely, until you attain the state, or until you achieve enlightenment. Okay, so until you attain Nibbāna or Nirvana. So the Buddhas, the Arhantas, the Pacceka Buddhas, they have all attained enlightenment, and they do not they are not born again. So in the Ratana Sutta that we just chanted, it is said like, as the flame cannot be detected when the lamp or candle goes off, as the flame is extinguished. We cannot say where the flame goes. So Nibbānti dhīrā, so they cease, or they actually dhīrā means skillful and wise people, or wise enlightened ones. Nibbānti dhīrā yathāyaṁ padipo, as if like the lamp. So when the flame goes off, you cannot detect where it has gone. You cannot tell. So the causes were ceased for someone to exist, and therefore there will be no result. So because of this cause and effect, so when in this case, the cause is seen as your actions, or your energy that is built up through your actions. Now, whether it is positive or negative is entirely up to you, and therefore, the karma was taken in the context as your intentions, because it is not something from an external agency or external. It is something internal that you begin to develop. So these energies is what that is passed, as if like a flame is passed from one candle to another, and then when that is about to finish off, then we light another candle. So you can light thousands and thousands of candles one after another without the flame without letting the flame go off. Like those prehistoric times when they created a fire, they would maintain the fire somehow so that they don't have to create another fire. So, as if the flame is being shared, and so we are going to be born again and again, and all those conditions might be quite different. So therefore, the type of the flame also might be quite different depending on the conditions. Sometimes we have, it's like the fuel. Some fuel will cause a great, powerful flame, and certain flames are not powerful. So if you look at the sun and the glowing sun and gases in the sun, they're very powerful ones. But you can just snuff the candle with your own hand as well. So you can see that the conditions allow the flame to actually be variant, and it is therefore not one type of flame, not one type of fire. So like that, so we're being born again and again, and therefore yesterday we referred to something like when someone when someone is enlightened in this continuous rebirth cycle of samsāra, when someone that is coming to a stop. So we referred to two words yesterday, and this is just giving you a base for our future talks about this enlightenment, which I'm planning to do gradually. So in this immense or innumerable rebirth in our lives, we always accumulate something, because that's why we believe that if you are born a human with a good rational capacity, that is the best time to actually practice the Dhamma, not even as a deva, or not even as or in heaven, or other types of beings. We cannot practice the Dhamma. You have to be with a good, able, conscious human with rational capacity to practice the Dhamma and make the most out of this time, because we don't know where and how we might be born in future. Say for example, you're born in heaven, then you'll have like millions and millions of human years there, according to this explanation of Buddhist cosmology, and you'll not be able, you might after that you don't know where you might go, so your karma might even head you towards hell, which might be in your way. So the thousands of karmas are always there, and whatever will go, and we will be continuously just in the whatever energy that is built up will start coming after you. Now this is what even the first gatha we have been talking about, is something is always coming after you. So the state of mind is quite important to understand, and therefore if you are to actually shorten your samsaric or the rebirth cycles and attain enlightenment, obviously we have to follow what what was delivered by the Buddha on a full moon day, like in July, Asala, the first sermon of the Buddha, avoiding extremes, realizing the Four Noble Truth. So once we realize that what is dukkha, once we realize, then we will not be actually nurturing or entertaining ourselves to support or the misunderstanding of dukkha or your own karma. So we have to realize that the dukkha is something that is there, sometimes self-created, and this is what we try to make ourselves understand. Our expectations and our lack of understanding of situations perhaps brings unhappinesses to us. We see lots of things in a distorted way, in a deluded way, and therefore once the dukkha is quite understood, you are what we have to understand is what causes this dukkha, what causes this suffering and unhappiness. And if you can see that the last few sessions we've been talking about attachment, or something that you always expect, attachment, and when we attach to something, when you seek something, we pursue that sort of an expectation through our senses, and therefore the cause of suffering, the Buddha said, is this attachment, that we actually cling on to this experience and this memory or this understanding of certain things that we cling on to, which we call upadana. So that is sometimes nurtured through this karma tanha, which is like pursuing your sensual desires, from wanting to excessively or even actually pursuing any sort of expectations through your senses, karma tanha. We never feel satisfied with certain things, and we always try to meet our things that we realize as from the memory or something, and we expect certain things. And in last few sessions I used the word, we raise the bar always, some sort of excitement or entertainment, we always raise our bar and we always look for those things. And sometimes when we see certain things in other people's lives, or even something that we always sometimes think, I wish I had that, or I wish I was born like that, I wish I would like to be someone like this, then this is like the existential ways of thinking, like bhavatanha, wanting to be, wanting something to last, wanting to be in certain ways, and it could be your next life as well. And even this has to be actually understood and eradicated, is what the Buddha says in his first sermon. And there are certain things that we also look like, sometimes when you do see certain things, our experiences, we don't feel like we'd like to be in that situation again. I don't want to be old, or I don't want to be in a state of like that person. I don't want to be in a state of like that animal suffering. I don't want to be in this situation. We sometimes do feel that, and this is like vibhava tanha, because that is the a resistance value that we apply to our expectations and likes. So it is the dislike side, and this is called vibhava tanha, that we don't like to actually be in that state. We don't like to want to be born in such state. So there are these likes and dislikes manifesting not just in our experiences and our continuity or discontinuity of our current expectations and situations, but perhaps even in future, like I don't want to be born like this or like that. I was always want to be born rich, or I don't want to be born poor. I don't want to be born an animal. And so we have all these dislikes as well as likes, and this is what is the cause of this entire cycle of rebirths, because this is making us do or think in certain ways, and therefore the karmic energy has been developed. And therefore, once we start learning how to eradicate or subsidize and reduce this gradually, there would be a point that we will achieve a certain state, blissful state, when all of these don't exist, which we call enlightenment. So when the conditions and all those things and all these karmic energies we actually cease to do, then there is nothing that will make you have a result. Therefore, then you cease. And but however, when we look into the path unfolded by the Buddha, about he taught us ways to achieve this as well. And there are many ways. And in the first sermon, the Buddha talks about the Eightfold Path. And in the Eightfold Path, it is about your morality, it is about transforming and developing your mind, and also developing wisdom through that. So we have Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So today I just wanted to focus on, because yesterday we referred to this word called Sotapanna, and we're talking about Sakatagami. So we all are still in the search of or this knowledge, or trying to understand the Dhamma, and I am on the same boat, and you also might be on the same boat. We're all trying to understand the Dhamma, But once we actually develop this samma ditthi, or right understanding, right view of what is in the first eightfold path, it gradually paves the path for us to actually taste the Dhamma, or actually practice the Dhamma, and have a bit of an insight to what it means to be enlightened. Now, and yesterday we referred to four stages called Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhanta. So the first is like the stream winner, then once returner, then never returner, and then you come to the state of Arhanta, now completely enlightened. So when you look at what actually stops you from actually trying to even taste or understand this truth, or the Dhamma, or the reality, what the Buddha wanted to understand would be, as listed in the text, would be 10 fetters. So as much as 5 hindrances stop you from actually developing the capacity to understand, they stop you from seeing things. There are 10 fetters that bind you to samsāra, or these 10 things bind you to this cycle of rebirths. And this is what in the next few days we will unfold gradually, but today is just this foundation knowledge. And this, what binds you to samsāra, is is what we have to break through. So to break through this cycle of birth, or to actually swim this ocean of samsāra, we call ogha in Pali, to swim, or to actually cross this sea, which is it's not easy. It is very difficult, because we are so much pulled or nailed by these temptations, nailed by these fetters, and when you look at this 10 things, you will see what it really means. We would like to go into the water and start swimming, but we are not able to do, because we have so much of these, which obviously if you start slowly unpacking, slowly breaking down, gradually practicing while you lead a lay life or a monastic life, we all have to go to this step on this path gradually. I don't think so there will be like a fast track format, because if you do have the wisdom, you would have got the spark already and slowly gone into it. And it is, and everyone else's intellect is very different, and everyone needs to understand the Dhamma differently. Paccattam vedittabbo vinyohi. There is no one block that suits everyone. So some people might understand certain things differently, others might take it differently, and therefore the individual understanding is where this success lies. I cannot even if I read the entire Tripitaka, that might not make me have the insight. The insight comes through application of what gradually, which we are going to focus tomorrow onwards. Little by little to practice the Dhamma. You can't actually you can't attend a session, or you can't listen to a talk, or you can't do one meditation session and feel you're completely different. Because we do say, and don't even expect anything when you start to sit down to meditate, because this is something that we have to slowly, the spark of wisdom has to come from within, gradually, step by step, and it has to actually glow within yourself. And the more you actually help yourself to understand the Dhamma, the more you actually will start brightening that light within yourself. That is why we say āloka uddapādi. When you have that wisdom, it slowly starts to glow. It's like when you have this taste of Dhamma, your ignorance slowly starts to fade away as well. One of the examples quite used is when there is a sunrise, when there's sunrise, and slowly the darkness starts to go away. When there is sunrise, the heat starts to come. So it happens as it rises. So when there is sunrise, we start seeing things that we didn't see in the dark. Okay, so as soon as the sun rises, then the darkness also goes away along with the rise of the sun, or along with the light that exists, and we start seeing things, and even the coldness starts going away as there is sun. So it's not like this or that. It gradually it happens as it happens. So therefore, when you start listening to the Dhamma and trying to reflect on it, the insight starts developing step by step, gradually. So you can't turn a page and think, okay, now I'm enlightened. You can't decide, or you can't say, oh, I've read this much, I have done this many sessions of meditation, or I listen to this many talks a week. That will not make you an enlightened person. It is those 10 fetters that you have to gradually cut off, or try to sort of unpack and be free from those 10 fetters. So given the time, maybe let's look at this one thing. So the first one is about the Sakkaya Ditthi from the 10 fetters, which we just said yesterday a little bit. Sakkaya Ditthi is about that misunderstanding that there is someone or something that is quite permanently existing, which you would like to see yourself, the self, or this identity that actually is there permanently. And this view would be something at the forefront to stop you from understanding the reality. So when you start seeing things through impermanence, seeing through this impermanence, and not actually trying to create this entity or identity which we all try to resort ourselves and see ourselves within, then there is this lack of understanding of or reality. So for example, when you see things, you have your eyes, you have the object, and you have your awareness. Now, the existing of these three things is what makes you see this. And then, but as soon as you see things, we forget that, okay, the seeing eye is impermanent, or the object seen is impermanent, or even this awareness and consciousness is impermanent. We fail to see that. And when we fail to see that, what we do is we have once, as soon as you see, even if you close your eyes, there is a memory, and you have taken a snapshot already. And no matter what you do with that snapshot is already there. And sometimes you entertain yourself, or do whatever you do with that snapshot. You see either happiness or like or dislike in that. And when you see that connection, you feel that there is someone trying to, or there is something that you would like to call this I or this self. Whereas the existing value is not there, because it's already changed. So when we see this, we see something that there is this misunderstanding of this you, self, what we call I, experiencing this. And then yes, we would say we use the word like we generally like I and my, but when we say this I, we fail to understand that actually this does not exist. Now that experience or that understanding came because of those object that was there, because of your eye that was quite able to see, and obviously the consciousness. All of those things made that possible. But the moment you actually start grasping this experience as I, and the sankhara as mentally formed or mentally created this an idea, we try to see an identity within that. We associate ourselves with it, and when we associate ourselves with it, we are in a wrong view of personality or this self, that is created out of those conditions, and we see the result, and we see ourselves in there. And this is what the Buddha wanted us to see. If you try to if you get rid of this, perhaps we would see whatever it is as it is, and not start actually proliferating, or actually personifying or personalizing that, and creating this identity which we would want to see it as you are in control of it. It is you. and it has to be there, and it has to be, the way I want, and you start willing or making, you see yourself being able to control that, so that snapshot memory, you actually then start, grasping, or what we say, clinging to this. And when you see this, it is these 5 aggregates that we create ourselves, momentarily, that we actually hook onto. But the Buddha says this is a delusion, because this is not in existence. It is something that you created with all those conditions that were there. So the word sakkaya ditthi, or having this personality view, or the self, or this identity view, and this is what we seek every time, now after in our experiences, in our day-to-day life, every moment we seek this, we actually entertain this, we nurture this, thinking that is there. Imagine if we didn't have one of those, that would not be there. We are lucky to have our senses, but imagine, one of our senses went down, as we grow old, it grows weak, and then then obviously, our experiences start to change. When our experiences start to change, we don't see that same I that was there 10 years ago, that you created yourself. You even if you look at your passport, if you look at your photo taken 20 years ago, you would imagine the way you saw yourself then and now, and it's not there. We have been creating this identity daily, and that identity is not even permanent. It is something that we created out of delusion. So this sort of thing, so therefore, the moment we start applying or understanding things through impermanence, there is this sort of awakening within yourself that there is nothing that you are in control of, and therefore grasping or creating this deluded identity, and thinking that this is the thing that that is going to be entertained or experience things. This is called sakkaya ditthi. So there is the existence or the acceptance of that permanent self, and therefore, the moment you start doing that, you have not even sort of like understood, or maybe tried to have the glimpse of the Dhamma. So we got to actually be able to always use at least the notion of anicca. Your senses, your eyes is impermanent, your nose is impermanent, your tongue or taste is impermanent, your body is impermanent, your thinking, your thoughts are impermanent. Every individual thinking, and this mind that actually goes into these channels of those senses create this identity, and they're all different every nanosecond. So nothing is permanent, and there is nothing. You are not in control of your thoughts. So how can you be in control of what it created, like deluded I? You're not in control of your worries and stuff. If you tell them to go away, they won't go away. They come back to you. Your anger comes to you. Your likes come to you. You're not in control of your senses and your thought processes. So where is this control? Where is this atta, or this the permanent thing that you think that there's no permanent static thing that actually you can pinpoint as I? And therefore, trying to understand this is the first thing perhaps you have to do, so that you can, once you get rid of this, then only you are there are 2 more things about like clinging to rites and rituals, and even having doubts in cause and effect, and so on and so. So sakkaya ditthi, silabbata paramasa, vicikiccha, all those 3 things have to be eradicated to even be the first entrant or the first stream winner called sotapanna. You can't be a sotapanna, and you can't do this from reading books and study. You have to actually contemplate, through meditation, apply this understanding and experience it for yourself. And when you get rid of those 3 things, then only you are a sotapanna. So you can see when people start arguing, fighting, making a fuss, they are trying to see something that this experience is permanent. This is this. When there is nothing permanent, what is the fuss that we are creating all about this? What is the fuss that we have when when we actually disagree with certain things? And they are just thoughts, they are just ideas, they are nothing more. But we see ourselves in this perception, we see ourselves in this feeling, we see ourselves in this body. So form, senses, feelings, perception. We see ourselves as in the thoughts, mental formations. We see ourselves in this awareness. Okay, this is me that is experiencing. I have to entertain this. So in the five aggregates, we always see ourselves in this, and just learn how to slowly let go. And actually, then there is something that we actually experience quite differently. So therefore, when we apply this, and then only yesterday when we referred to the word sotapanna, this is what it means when you get rid of those three things. So therefore, the daughter who died in the story that we said yesterday, she had already gone to the second stage, and she called her father younger brother, and therefore upon this, based on that, so I thought I'd like to share this a little bit with you, how things matter in terms of this samsaric life, how actually, and what we need to do to get rid of, or to actually stop this cycle of births. And we will slowly unfold our understanding and practice on these matters gradually in the next few talks. So hopefully, all I wanted to explain was that there is a lot that we have to perhaps contemplate and think, and but at least to take a short message today is try to see things in an impermanent format, or with impermanent lenses. So don't identify yourself with all the experiences that you have. Don't think that you are in control of your experiences. Your experiences come into existence when there are objects, and when they are entering through your senses, and when they're all present, that thought arises. But the moment you grasp that thought and think that this is you, or this is permanent, we are in a diluted format, and therefore whatever we do might not be in the way that we think we are doing. So for example, it can also transform into a tendency, and later on create a karma, however it is. So with that short reflection on what we need to do to understand, I just thought I'd like to give a brief background to the 10 fetters, so that in future we will be able to discuss this without going or repeating such information. So thank you for listening so far, and so now I will do Punya Anmodana first, and then we'll go into meditation. So Kalpana Karagan, Ada Dawase Dayakatve Darala, Me Waspinkan Kale, Waspinkam Ada Dawase Dayakatve Daranne, Atula Pera Mahatmat Rashmi Adhikari Nona Mahatmyat Daruvan Ayumi Saha Manuka Samagin Ada Dawase Me Dayakatve Daragena, Prarthana Karane Tamang Namin Me Parloge Piyurun Depala, අතකොරලලාගේ සහ කේයු මාර්තලිස් පියවර දෙපොළටම සංසාරක වශයෙන් සප ළඟා වේවා අභවයේ ස්ථානික සිටිනවා නම් අතමිටිය සප ළඟා කරගනිත්වා සපෙන් සිටිනවා සපතත් වර්ධනය කරගෙන කෙලවර ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන බෝධියකින් උතුම් අමා මහ නිවන් සොය සාක්ෂාත් කරගන්නට හේතු වාසනා වේවායි කියලා අපි සාදුකාරයක් කියලා පුණ්‍යානුමෝදනා වෙමු සාදු 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 එවැගේම තමන් ජීවිත සිටින තමගේ මෑණිවරු දෙපළට දීර්ඝායුෂය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරගෙන සිත සාන්තිය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරගෙන අද දවසේ මේ දායකත්වය දරන්නේ ඒ වගේම තමන්ගේ දරුවන්ගේ අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු ආදී සාර්ථක වේවා සුබ අනාගතයක් සඳහා අද දවසේ මේ වස් කාලයේ කරගත්ත මේ පින්කම් හේතු වාසනා වේවායි කියලා හිතාගෙන අපි සාදුකාරයක් දීලා ඒ අයගේ ඒ ප්‍රාර්ථනාවන් ඉෂ්ට වේවායි කියලා අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා සාදු සාදු. Okay, so we will do meditation for a short while. So sit straight. So gently adjust yourself and make sure you are balanced. If you are sitting on a chair or sofa, make sure you don't lean or rest your back. Hands to yourself, so right hand on your left palm. And gently close your eyes. So first of all, be mindful of your sitting posture. Just observe with a quick scan how you are sitting. Be happy that you are able to dedicate this evening to this practice. Praise yourself. Appreciate your good health, enabling you to sit and practice this evening. And now, just observe if there are any other people sitting with you. Appreciate their presence. Thank them for their support. Be mindful of their intentions and wish them well. If there are people that are not joining you now, it's okay, don't criticize. Be mindful of their happiness. Wish them well. Even if they are making noises, don't pay attention and then just let go and wish them well. Be mindful of your infrastructure or your surrounding. And coming back to yourself, just see the contrast, how your body was before and how you are now. So a very active body now is very peaceful. So mindful of that peace and stillness within yourself physically. No movement, very peaceful. And always remember, metta or loving kindness is about that peace of mind that you generate, which results in happiness and the intention to wish or wishing everyone happiness. It's not an ill thinking, it is well wishing. Where there is expectations and conditions, we fail to wish someone good because they do not fit into your conditions. That is what creates arguments and frustration and irritation, because you are bringing your fixed judgmental values to every moment and then creating a gap between your ideal and the present moment. And the more it is nurtured, you create, the wider the gap becomes from your ego to your likes and dislikes and prejudice and fixed views. And when that is not met, irritation, frustration, jealousy, anxiety, they all create problems or barriers to this peace of mind. So we simply let go of everything and every condition that we may have in our heads and experience that stillness and calmness. And wish the continuity of such peace and happiness through kindness. And we wish others the same. So may I be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May I be free from anger. May I be free from jealousy. May I be free from frustration, anxiety and worries. May I be free from pain and suffering. And we wish others the same. If the stations don't matter, skip them. May my parents, grandparents, teachers, brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, husband, wife or partner, cousins, nephews and nieces, friends, colleagues, your children and grandchildren, neighbors, some neutral people that you may meet daily. May they all be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from anger. May they be free from jealousy. May they be free from frustration, anxiety, and worries. May they be free from pain and suffering. May all living beings, including your pets, birds, animals and insects that come to your garden, seen and unseen beings, including all sentient beings, be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from pain and suffering. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be free from pain and suffering. Okay, so that is the end of our today's program. We started this at 6:30 with our daily Buddha Puja, Parita chanting and short reflection on Dhamma, so that it can be a reminder or new information for you to practice the Dhamma, especially during this lockdown time. And we finished the program with Metta Bhavana. So do join us if you're free every day at 6:30. And you can benefit a lot, especially during this Vassa retreat when we would have been visiting temples and observing programs and attending to religious observances. So to enable this during this lockdown time, you can participate on this program and from home readily practice the Dhamma and dedicate every evening for religious observances. So we hope it is a beneficial time for you. So do join us at 6:30 tomorrow as well. So thank you very much for participating and joining with us today as an online community. Sadhu, sadhu.